All right, let's continue our coverage now and bring in member of the Senate Intelligence Committee, Oklahoma Senator James Lankford. Good morning to you, Senator. I want to start with something that sources are telling Newsmax, that the U.S. military accelerating the deployment of thousands of Marines, sailors, that we now have multiple ships headed to the Middle East. Here's what the president had to say when asked about troops on the ground. Take a listen.
Do you intend to potentially put U.S. troops or more troops in the region?
No, I'm not putting troops anywhere. If I were, I certainly wouldn't tell you, but I'm not putting troops.
All right, so Senator, everybody agrees, boots on the ground, kind of a red line for most. I see a difference between tens of thousands of infantrymen, like during the first Gulf War, and strategic use of special forces, or a few hundred Marines to, say, take Karg Island. What do you think? Is there a difference?
There's an enormous difference on this. You've also got folks that are always on the ground in the area for search and rescue. If there's any kind of operation, we've already had several times we've had an aircraft go down, and you've got to be able to insert quickly to be able to get everything out and all the people out and do recovery there. So that's important to be able to have as well. It's also important to be able to have the resources available to be able to make Iran know that every threat is actually at our disposal on it. So it changes their calculus as well. I love that President Trump says, I'm certainly not going to tell you what I'm going to do, because he's also, you would tell Iran immediately what I was going to do. And so I'm not going to do that. So I think it's important to be able to leave the ambiguity there.
Absolutely. Sir, I want to pivot now to the DHS shutdown. And we've all seen the images of these long airport security lines. And now Deputy TSA Administrator Adam Stahl warning that airport security delays are likely to worsen as the Department of Homeland Security shutdown drags on. We've got rising employee absences straining checkpoints nationwide. And earlier this week on Wake Up America, DHS Chief of Staff told us that they may be forced to close some airports due to lack of staffing. Senator, what is it going to take to get this funded?
I know, to get our Democrats to be able to wake up on it. Now, this is a Democrat shutdown because they are more worried about ICE than they are about Iran. And they're just obsessed with trying to be able to defund ICE and to be able to shut down Border Patrol. Their long-term goal is to be able to turn on all the rest of DHS operations, to never fund ICE and Border Patrol so that those agents don't get paid. They quit, and then they win at that point to say, look, we defunded ICE. We now have our open borders. We now have lax enforcement. That's really their goal at the end of this. And so our frustration is, we want those TSA agents, Coast Guard, FEMA personnel, cybersecurity professionals, all those folks that work for DHS to get paid. We've been fighting for this from the very beginning to be able to get our Democrats to actually vote for this. I was back in conversations again last night with Democrat senators to say, what is it going to take in this process? At the opposite end of that, the administration has been very active in trying to be able to make outreach to Democrats to say, we understand, we want body-worn cameras, we want de-escalation training. These are key aspects that we're also supportive of, but Democrats see the politics as better than the actual solution on it. And so last time there was an offer made to Democrats, it was 18 days before they even responded to the White House. So this is pure politics from the Democrats in trying to be able to use and abuse our TSA agents and FEMA and other folks to be able to get their activist base riled up, saying that we're fighting against ICE on it, when really what they're doing is hurting the nation's security.
Yeah, and there's spring break plans, too, so it looks like it. Before we go, Senator, I got to ask you about your fellow Oklahoma Senator, Markwayne Mullin, soon to be, I think, the new Homeland Security Secretary, moved out of committee yesterday, maybe to the floor next week. Is there any concern? Are we going to see Secretary Mullin by this time next week?
Oh, yeah. Secretary Mullin will be in his spot by this time next week, and he will be at it. He will do a very good job on it. Markwayne hates to lose. He is a workaholic and is very focused on what does it take to actually fix the problem, but he's also not afraid to talk across the aisle. And I think it's a lot of things that people don't know about Markwayne is that he talks to everybody. He has good relationships across the board on it. And as he has said over and over again, he's working to be able to defend the country. It's not just red states. He's working to defend the entire country.
All right. Senator Lankford, thank you so much. Have a good weekend, sir.
Great to see you.
Thank you. We'll be here all weekend fighting for the SAVE Act.
All right. Get her done. Thank you, Senator.